We do have 200 people in our product teams who are constantly thinking about how we can get our content to travel and be and create influence in every sphere and in every platform and within every social space. And prioritising one's way through that is a challenge, but it's a very clear agenda to be the most influential, and we'll continue to do that.
Really what we're doing is transitioning from, I guess, months to moments. So that means that digital is hugely important to us, but we really don't mind whether our readers want our content on mobile or in print. The thing around moments is very important for us as well, because we're also trying to deliver that experiential element to our brand portfolio.
Johnston Press, for those who don't know, UK's largest regional publisher, from the Scotsman to the Pocklington Post, about 250 titles. 3 years ago, we had a print audience of about 12 million in the UK, digital audience of about 7 million. In just 3 years, we've now got a digital audience of over 20 million uniques and a print audience that's declined from 12 to 10 million. So we've moved from being print orientated to digital, and now we're moving to a mobile first strategy. I thought the context comments earlier were absolutely fascinating, and I think that our mission, our vision is to focus on local, to be the number one provider of news information locally, and then to monetize that by putting people who want to reach local audiences in touch with those local audiences. And the reason I think that our predominantly advertising funded strategy is the right one, therefore, is if you advertise on the Yorkshire Post website because you've opened a supermarket in Leeds, the context is right and people will be interested, and the click-through rates can be circa 10 times more.
I'm sure some people will continue to berate so-called old media, but it seems like, is there cause for optimism now?
I suppose the way in which The Guardian is structured, and we're not a public company, we can make investments and play it long. It does allow us to be able to explore these things and go to the States and see what happens in Australia and invest a huge amount in the next iteration of our site and making us platform relevant, because we can play that long. And we get huge criticism from others who are saying we're loss making, so therefore it doesn't add up. Whereas I think we're now much more confident to say that we are placing these bets far more strategically, and as long as one can see the reward or close things down very quickly, that the things that don't work, I think we're actually really enjoying ourselves.
Yes, a TV angle on that, if I could as well. It's very easy to be concerned by the level of disruption and new ways that people are consuming content, particularly video content. But it sort of dawned on us, I think, sort of 3 or 4 years ago, that we have a huge advantage in this field. TV is still the biggest driver of conversations that happen on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. YouTube are extremely keen to carry TV properties because they do provoke so much discussion. So we sort of realised that we have an advantage, as I think the thing that threatens all of us, perhaps publishing even more than television, is even though I think there's some bold steps being made here by everyone, how well can we compete with heavily venture capital backed, digitally obsessed companies?
Just to build on that and keeping me awake at night, being a technologist, is I think the FT, because we are seen as being successful, there's a danger that we become complacent, and the speed we need to move at, and particularly in terms of reinventing how we do our journalism, the technology we use to do that, and to ensure that we get to the right platforms. We have to move as quickly as the new players.
You have to be where the audience is. So what we found is in the US with Snapchat, Cosmopolitan was one of the launch partners. And interestingly, people could sort of say, oh, Cosmopolitan, yeah, that's not really the hip, cool brand for millennials, but so they tell us that it's the most popular content, and that's got Vice on there, that's got all of these very cool kind of new millennial brands. So I think you've just got to put your content where that audience is, and then keep collaborating with people.
Finding the white space, looking for where the content or product offerings are not there and are not being offered through traditional media. YouTube is a absolutely critical platform for us. It's still not at the level of monetization that can sustain the higher quality content that we make for television. In fact, it's a long way from that. So YouTube for us primarily is a discovery tool, and it's a very effective one.
The next 5 years, any strategy will be a global one, for sure.
It's a major issue. I mean, as a local publisher, we've got to keep local. But if there's media buyers in the room, they want to buy national. but we lose our localness at our peril. So what we've done, recognising that we are too small, is that we've got into bed with the other regional publishers, Newsquest, Archant, Local and so on, and have created a single ad network called OneXL. And that's our solution. So it keeps us local in terms of content, but aggregates us in terms of reach and scale from an advertising point of view.
I think you have to try and bring people with you. I think people need to be quite fearless. And I think in hierarchical organisations, it's really, really quite challenging to say that the best answer in the room might be coming from the graduate trainee.
It's that culture change, isn't it? I mean, 4 out of 5 of us here employ a lot of journalists, but there can't be a journalist now that doesn't have a Twitter account and doesn't see how much of their traffic and their kudos, their respect is coming through social media.
I think we're the same. I think we have to be able to create a much more of a spirit of collaboration across The Guardian. We obviously clearly respect the church and state component, but we do have to just get used to collaborating more. And if there's someone working in SEO around a big story, that combination of fantastic content with people who know how to share stories around the world, or the combination of working with marketing or insight or product, all of those things collectively add up to us delivering why we exist. I'd also concur with the talent bit, is that we do attract brilliant people. The retention is somewhat challenging. They come and do great things around the product, and then they go off and work at Twitter, which is really annoying.
Well, we are out of time for now, so it just remains for me to thank all of you. Thank you.